Welcome back to the channel. This is Trinity Storm and you are watching second part of What If Naruto Became Wielder of Universal Weapon. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
It was a beautiful morning as Naruto awoke from his bed and prepared a breakfast of French toast, fresh fruit, cup ramen, and orange. It took an epiphany from Kurama and Shinami to make him realize that his poor lack of nutrition was the reason why he wasn't growing any taller, but who can blame him when most shops refuse to sell any groceries or charge high prices when he tries to purchase from them due to their bigoted nature. Well, all of that will be over soon after Gigi and I have dealt with the civilian council today, Naruto thought as he dressed. Indeed, Naruto-sama, the time has come for those people to pay for the crimes they committed against you and the villagers while they were unaware that they were duped, Shinami said. I agree with her, kid, but I'd advise you to keep your lineage a secret until you are promoted to Chunin so that potential enemies know you are not to be trifled with, Kurama said from within the mindscape. Thanks for the advice, Kurama. I'll be sure to tell Gigi after the meeting, Naruto said, after strapping on the two Muramasa blades to himself. He opened it to find a female Anbu with purple hair and a cat mask. Uzumaki-san, Hokage has summoned you to his office, said female Anbu, who then had a look of curiosity, though it is hidden behind the mask, when she saw the swords and wondered when he took up Kenjutsu. Cat-chan, it's been a long time since we last met. Naruto smiled. She was one of the people assigned to protect him from the mob and he had grown quite fond of her. On his birthdays, they would eat ramen at Ichiraku's with dog. Just give me a moment so I can lock up, then I'll follow you to Gigi, they said as they walked to the Hokage tower. Naruto could tell she was looking at the swords he was wearing. It appears that you want to know about the swords that I own, Cat-chan? Cat was taken aback for a brief moment before nodding to him. I've been wondering about those swords because they feel different from all the other blades, and how you got them because I've never seen you practice Kenjutsu since I've been watching you, Cat said. Naruto paused for a moment before telling her because he trusts her. Have you heard the name Muramasa, Cat-chan? Asked Naruto, Cat's eyes widening in surprise from behind her mask, as she is a sword master and knows everything there is to know about swords. You mean those swords that, once drawn, never return to their sheath until they draw blood? But I heard that anyone who holds or wields one will be cursed with bloodlust, so how could you wield them without being cursed? Cat inquired. That is because I use the Oboro sword style. Anyone who is taught this style will develop immunity to the curse of the Muramasa blades and can wield them without repercussions, Naruto explained. Cat was both surprised and excited to cross swords with someone who uses an unknown style. Perhaps one of these days we could spar if that's okay with you, Uzumaki-san? Cat asked, her voice tinged with excitement. Please call me Naruto as I am not a fan of formalities and would be glad to spar with a beautiful lady at any time, Naruto said with a foxy grin, causing the kunoichi to blush from the compliment and smile. They soon arrived at the tower and entered the Hokage's office, where they found the third Hokage battling his greatest foe, paperwork. Gigi, good morning. I'm here, just as you said, Naruto gestured to his surrogate grandfather. My morning isn't exactly good, but I'll take what I can get. I've gone through the files from Danzo's hideout and have enough evidence to punish the civilian council and replace them with much better ones, but I've noticed that my former teammates Homura and Kaharu weren't included in the files, but they were against your well-being, Sarutobi reflected. We'll find out at the council meeting, but there's something I'd like to do first. Could you bring Sakura Haruno and Mebuki Haruno here? Sarutobi raised an eyebrow, wondering why Naruto would want Haruno when he knew she was one of the people who despised Naruto. Of course, Cat bring Sakura and Mebuki Haruno here, Sarutobi said. Cat nodded and body flickered out of the office, returning a few minutes later with Sakura and a woman who looks like an older version of herself. Why did you send for me and my daughter, Lord Hokage, and why is that thing here? When we had the chance, I thought you should have killed it. Sakura was astounded to see her mother look at Naruto with hatred in her eyes and wondered why she, like the majority of the villagers, despised the blonde. Actually, Naruto summoned you and your daughter here for an important matter, Sarutobi, who was becoming irritated by how she was treating the boy, explained. The woman shifted her gaze to the boy. What do you expect from me, brat? She sneered, and Naruto looked at her with sadness, knowing that everything she did was unintentional. I'm going to free you from Danzo's corruption, so please forgive me for what I'm about to do, Naruto said, producing 2 shadow clones who quickly ran at the woman and held her down. Then Naruto went behind and raised her hair, and sure enough the seal was present behind her neck. Gigi, Sakura, come and take a look at this, the said people approached, and when they saw the seal, Sakura began to cry and Sarutobi seethed in anger. Naruto, please remove the seal because I don't want to see it again. It's been reminding me of the bad things I've done to you, Sakura sobbed. Naruto nodded and performed the hand seals, causing his right index finger to glow before placing it on the seal and proclaiming, Uzumaki Arts, Seal Destruction. The seal vanished from the skin, just as it had on Sakura. Mebuki clenched her fists in agony as the repressed memories surfaced, and she soon began to cry. I'm so sorry, Uzumaki-san. I had no intention of planning all those attacks on you. Danzo was behind it all. He wanted to turn you into his personal weapon, and civilians were a part of it. I was opposed to what they were doing, but Danzo dispatched his root ninjas to kidnap my daughter and me and place those seals on us. We were aware of what we were doing but couldn't stop ourselves. It was like a nightmare with no way out. Please forgive us for what we did. Mebuki kneeled on the ground and bowed to Naruto, who was looking a little uneasy, while Sarutobi and the Anbu nearby grew angrier at the civilian council. Kit, I can sense her sorrow and remorse. She didn't mean to do all those things back then, Kurama said, with Shinami nodding in agreement. Naruto approached the pink-haired woman and lifted her from the ground, smiling. I had forgiven the village a long time ago because they were grieving the loss of their loved ones, and I also know Sakura inherited her kindness from you, who is her, so I can't bear ill will towards you. The 2 Pinkettes were taken aback by the boy's generosity and hugged him while repeatedly thanking him, while the 3rd Hokage smiled. Minato and Kushina would have been proud of their son if they were still alive, Sarutobi reasoned. Will you reveal your secret, Naruto? I hope you're making the right decision because it's S-rated for your safety. Naruto took a deep breath and nodded in agreement. I'll tell them because I trust them, and after everything they've been through, they deserve to know why they were involved. He turned to the Pinkette, especially Sakura. Sakura-chan. What do you know about the night the Kyuubi attacked the village? I was told that the 4th Hokage killed the demon and died in the battle. What does that have to do with you? Sakura pondered. Naruto's eyes were filled with fear, she noticed. The Kyuubi is a chakra construct with a sense of being that cannot be killed, and the 4th Hokage was unable to defeat it, so he had to seal it away in the baby born that night. He sealed it into me, the baby. Sakura and Mebuki were taken aback by what they heard. That's why everyone mistreated you. They thought you were the fox reincarnated, but why did the 4th seal it into you? Naruto looked at them sadly, said Sakura, with Mebuki nodding in agreement. He couldn't bring himself to use another parent's child for the sealing, who would be better to entrust the power of the fox and the protection of the village to than his own son, Naruto explained. Everyone's eyes widened except Sarutobi's as he realized who he truly is. Why you mean you're, Sakura exclaimed, surprised. Yes, my father was Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage, and my mother was Kushina Uzumaki, the Red Death. Gigi gave me my mother's name to hide from my father's enemies, Naruto said, and Sakura hugged him again while crying, this time with her mother joining her. So he's Kushina's son, Sensei's, which must explain why Hokage-sama assigned me and Dog to watch over him. Kushina-sensei, I will definitely protect your son, Cat reasoned. I won't look at you any differently, you're not the fox, but it's Container, and you're the one I fell in love with all those years ago, and I won't abandon you ever again, Sakura vowed. Thank you Sakura-chan, but I need to tell you that I fall under the CRA, which means that I have to take in multiple wives, and I already have 2 girls who love me, but I promise to love all of you equally, Naruto said nervously, but he was surprised when Sakura kissed him on the lips. I'm fine with it. I know you have a big heart, Naruto-kun, and as long as they love you for who you are, I'm fine with it, Sakura said with a loving smile. I also don't mind as long as my daughter is happy, Naruto-kun, Mebuki smiled. Kat then took a step forward in front of the third Hokage, despite the fact that he knew what was on her mind. Hokage-sama, I request permission to reveal my identity, Kat said, piqued Naruto's interest. I grant you permission, although I should have told you from the start, but the risks were too great, Sarutobi said sadly. Kat nodded before taking off her mask, revealing a beautiful face that made Naruto blush. My real name is Yugo. I was a genin under your mother back then and I had promised to watch over her child when she was about to give birth, but I didn't realize it was you, so I seek your forgiveness, Yugo said, shaking his head while smiling. There is nothing to forgive Yugo Nichan because we are all family, Naruto said as the kunoichi embraced him. It appears that good fortune has finally appeared to you Naruto after all of your suffering, Sarutobi thought, then coughed to get their attention. I think it's time to deal with the traitorous civilian, so let us head to the meeting room. Everyone nodded in agreement and left the office in the direction of the meeting room. Soon after they arrived at their destination and entered, they noticed that both the shinobi and civilian councils had arrived and were sitting on opposite sides. Mebuki went to sit at the civilian side with a grimace while the third Hokage took his seat with Naruto standing in front of the desk. Naruto took a glance at the shinobi council to see the clan heads smiling at him with the exception of Hiyashi Hyuga and Shibi Aburame, while the civilian side with the exception of Hiyashi Hyuga. Sarutobi, why have you called this meeting, and where is Danzo? Homura inquired. Indeed, sometimes I think he'd make a better Hokage than you, Kaharu said, which enraged the shinobi side while making the civilian side smile. Naruto-sama, I sense a foreign chakra on those 2 that doesn't belong to them, Shinami said. It must be some sort of genjutsu that Danzo must have used with his stolen Sharingan. I should be able to break its hold on them. Thanks for telling me, Shinami-chan, Naruto reasoned, as the said spirit smiled happily at his presence, while Kurama snorted in jealousy. Naruto started performing hand seals, which drew everyone's attention. What are you up to, brat? Trying to annihilate us like the monster you are? Said a fat councilman. Naruto ignored him and dashed to the 2 advisors, placing an index finger on their brows and calling out, Kai. They became disoriented and shook to clear their heads before smiling at Naruto. Thank you for liberating us from the genjutsu, Kaharu said, surprising everyone with her words. What do you mean by genjutsu? Shikaku Nara wondered, as did the other clan heads. It's related to why Danzo isn't in this meeting because he's being interrogated by Ibiki for his treachery in the continuation of Root despite its supposed disbandment, Sarutobi said, shocking the shinobi and civilians and making Naruto smile like a mischievous fox. What do you mean, Hokage-sama? How did you find out about this? Inoichi Yamanaka inquired. Naruto had discovered a loyalty and memory seal placed on Sakura and Mebuki Haruno, which put them under Danzo's control and removed them. Then he traced them back to their hideout and collected evidence sufficient enough to raid their base and execute them as well as detain Danzo, said Sarutobi. Immediately the civilians began to protest but were silenced by the old Hokage's killer intent, but one of them refused to back down. How could you believe this demon when he is obviously trying to deceive you? Yelled a certain civilian, but his head fell from his body, and everyone turned to see Naruto sheathing Mumi no Tamanu, surprised. I didn't even see him move. How strong has he become? Hiyashi pondered as he gazed at the blonde ninja. He broke the third Hokage's law, and it won't change anything because they're all going to be executed, Naruto said, leaving everyone puzzled as to what he meant. Could you show them what we found, Gigi? As each of the clan heads read the files, they began to emit large amounts of killer intent that was directed towards the civilian council. Mebuki had gotten up from her seat and stood beside the shinobi council. When the civilians realized what those files were and began to shake in fear, Naruto grinned, which Kurama and Shinami mirrored. All I can say is that what goes around comes around, and now it's your turn to be the piper. Anbu, these are my exact thoughts. Send them to Ibiki and tell him they're his dessert. Because Danzo is the main course, Sarutobi said with a grin reminiscent of Naruto's when he was about to plan a prank. Immediately, a Sever Anbu appeared behind the civilians and flashed their bodies away. Now that they're gone, we have other issues to deal with. What other troublesome stuff are we going to deal with? Shikaku asked, his face bored. After so long, it is time for me to reveal Naruto's lineage, Sarutobi said, much to the consternation of the clan heads, who were curious as to what kind of lineage he had. What exactly do you mean, Hokage-sama? Naruto, isn't he an orphan? Shuza Akamichi inquired, with the others nodding in agreement.
Surely you who are close to Minato should know that he couldn't possibly use anyone's child other than his own child for the sealing. Just take a closer look at him and find your answer, Sarutobi said, when everyone looked at Naruto and realized that if they removed the whisker marks, they would see a mini fourth Hokage. Who is the mother if he is Minato's son?
Hiyashi stood up from his seat. His mother's name was Kushina Uzumaki, also known as Red Death, Sarutobi explained. What do you mean he's Kushi-san Chan's and you didn't tell us? Why? We could have looked after him. Sume Inuzuka yelled angrily. I didn't tell you everything because I wanted to protect him from his father's enemies, especially Iwagakure and Kumogakure, who would have targeted him for vengeance, Sarutobi explained. Before we go any further, Gigi, I've decided to keep my lineage a secret until the Chunin exams, Naruto explained. Why? Wouldn't you like to know as soon as possible? When Inoichi asked, Naruto shook his head no. That's because I'm not yet strong enough to protect myself and my precious people while I'm in the CRA, so I need to train more until then, Naruto explained, to which they all agreed. Very well, we won't announce your lineage until the Chunin exam, you may leave Naruto, Sarutobi said, as Naruto bowed to the council, what was left of them, and walked away, Sakura close behind. You're going to change things around here, Naruto. When Naruto and Sakura exited the tower, they encountered Kurenai, Anko, and Hinata on their way to the Hokage's office. Sakura, Naruto? What exactly are you doing here? Kurenai inquired, his colleagues mirroring his expression. Sakura-chan and I just came from a meeting with the council about something involving me, Naruto explained, noticing Anko's frown and knowing that she despised the civilian council. Let's just say that we cleaned out the trash. I'll tell you the rest of the story where walls don't have ears, they nodded, realizing the significance of what Naruto was about to tell them. Later, when they arrived at his apartment, they were enraged to see writings on the wall such as demon, monster, devil, and others, but Naruto ignored it and unlocked his room. When they entered, Kurenai and Anko were surprised to see that the room was well kept despite the outside being so appalling. Now that we're all here, I need to tell you about my lineage, he said, then he told them about his family and what happened the night of the attack. They were saddened by the suffering he went through and angry at the village for their cruelty, to the point of wanting to be violent if Naruto hadn't convinced them otherwise because he had forgiven them. How come you stopped us from giving them the punishment they deserve? Kurenai was enraged because she has a soft spot for children and saw this as child abuse. That's because they were duped from the start by Danzo and the corrupt civilian, Naruto explained, and he told them about what happened at the meeting. As he finished speaking, he noticed Anko rushing out the door. Anko-chan, where are you going? I work in the torture and interrogation division, so I'm heading over there before Ibiki breaks them all. Anko smiled sadistically, sending shivers down their spines. Kurenai then turned to face Naruto. I'm fine with you being in the CRA as long as the girls are happy, but if I find out that you hurt any of them, you will have a lot to answer for, Kurenai said sternly, making Naruto shake in fear and nod frantically, much to the amusement of Sakura and Hinata. Alright then, we'll meet up at the Hokage Tower tomorrow to get assigned to a mission, so don't be late, Kurenai said as she left for home. It's time for us to go, Sakura said, with Hinata nodding in agreement. Naruto then stood up and kissed each of them on the cheek, causing them to blush. I hope to see you tomorrow, my Heims, Naruto said with a foxy grin, and he was kissed on the cheek by both of them before they left. Naruto was stunned for a moment before collapsing on the bed, smiling. He said good night to his tenants as he prepared to sleep. Good night, Naruto-sama, Shinami said. Good night, Naruto-kun, Kurama said in hushed tones, unaware that Naruto had heard him. What did Kurama mean when he said kun? It had to be a slip of the tongue, Naruto mused before drifting off. Crimson Sight, are all units present and accounted for? Kurenai said. This is Lamia, please report your current positions, Anko said. Crimson Sight, Lamia, this is Maelstrom from the west, target is in sight, Naruto said from behind a tree. This is Lavender, I have the target within my visual, Hinata said from atop a tree, her Byakugan activated. This is Cherry Blossom, ready to help Maelstrom, Sakura said from behind a nearby bush. Of course, engage the target with caution and capture with minimal force, Kurenai said. Prepare to move in 3, 2, 1. Now, said Anko, quoting Crimson Sight. As they charged at the target, Naruto jumped from behind the tree, with Sakura close behind, but it was aware of their presence and jumped away from Naruto towards a tree, bounced off it, then twisted itself in midair to evade Sakura, who jumped at it before fleeing at high speed. That cat is good at fleeing, Sakura exclaimed, picking herself up from the floor and dusting her clothes before contacting Hinata. What is the target's current location? The target is currently moving in a zigzag pattern towards the streets, Hinata explained. Naruto was deep in thought as Sakura and the other sensei listened. There's more to the cat than meets the eye. Many Genin teams say the cat can evade capture even from Junin, but I have reasons to believe there's another meaning to this, don't you think? Naruto asked his tenants. You could be right about that, Kit. Most humans believe animals lack intelligence, but they will be surprised at what they can do, Kurama said. Kurama-san is correct. Naruto-sama, there is always a reason for everything, and the cat's actions are no exception, Shinami stated. I'll just have to chase after it and observe its actions to confirm this theory of mine, Naruto thought as he stood up. I'm going after it because I'm the fastest amongst us, he said. Naruto-kun, are you sure? I've heard that even Junin has difficulty catching it, Sakura expressed concern. I know, but there's something I need to figure out, so I'll meet you guys at the Hokage's office, Naruto said before speeding off to the location Hinata had reported. Meanwhile, with the cat, she was standing at the top of a light pole, scanning the area for signs of her pursuers.
Having found none, she signed in disappointment.
It appears that this group has also failed to meet my expectations. Perhaps the next group will be able to do better, she said as she turned to leave when she heard someone land nearby and turned to see the blonde-haired kid with the whisker marks on his cheeks. He was looking at her as if trying to figure something out, unlike the other ninjas who would look at her with anger or annoyance. I'm wondering if this boy is the one. He appears to be distinct from the others, but I should double-check. When Naruto landed near the cat, he noticed that she had a look of disappointment before he showed up, which further convinced him that something was going on. After looking at each other for about a minute, she took off with Naruto in pursuit. The cat was weaving through the crowd quickly with her small size and turned to see that the blonde was using sidesteps and short dashes to keep up with her, much to her surprise, as most ninjas would use. This kid truly is different from the other shinobi before him. He could be the one, but let's see if he can pass this last test, she reasoned before leaping to her feet and extending her claws. When Naruto saw the cat poised to attack, he took a defensive stance and was taken aback when he saw something unexpected. "I can't believe it, it can use chakra without training like the other ninja dogs," he exclaimed in surprise. "I thought the same thing when I sensed the level of chakra she had. You'd better be ready for anything," Kurama said. Naruto nodded in agreement before facing the cat. She dashed at the blonde, her claws coated in chakra, ready to slash him. Naruto quickly applied chakra to his hands and began to block and parry the attacks, impressed by her speed, which must have come from being chased so many times. When she tried to claw at his face, Naruto quickly removed his jacket and wrapped the cat in it, completely encasing its movement. When he looked at the cat, he was surprised to see her smiling at him. "He's the one, I'm certain of it now," the cat concluded. Naruto unwrapped her from the jacket before speaking to her, confident that she would understand him. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and I believe yours is Tora." And got a nod from the cat. "All those times you were pursued, wasn't it a test to find a partner?" Tora nodded once more. "You wanted to be a ninja animal but needed a capable partner, which you found in me," another nod says. "What are your thoughts?" "I believe you should accept because she had waited this long for a partner," Shinami said. "I agree with her. I can teach her a few techniques designed for animals like her," Kurama explained. "If so, then I would be delighted to be your partner, Tora," Naruto said, as Tora climbed to his shoulder and affectionately rubbed against his cheeks, making Naruto smile before heading to the Hokage's tower. Everyone's eyes turned to him when he entered the room, and their jaws dropped when they saw Tora sitting on Naruto's shoulder without being restrained. Even Sarutobi dropped his pipe in shock when he saw this, because everyone is aware that one cannot capture Tora without suffering some form of damage. After a while of staring in silence, everyone in the room made a ram sign and said, "Kai," as if to dispel an illusion, but it was all real. "Naruto, could you explain what's going on?" Sarutobi asked, attempting to relight his pipe. "Well, the thing is that all those times we've been chasing, it was a test set up by her in order to pick a partner," Naruto said again, astounded the people around him. "You mean to tell me that Tora was putting us through our paces while we were deciding on a partner? Am I on the right track?" Iruka inquired. "Yeah, because Tora wanted to be a ninja animal and can use chakra, why don't you show them?" Tora jumped from Naruto's shoulder, channeled chakra to her claws, and slashed the table, leaving deep cuts to the surprise. "Do you really want to be a ninja animal, Tora?" Tora nodded in agreement when Madame Shimji asked. "Then I won't hold you back. All I want is for you to be safe." Tora jumped to Madame Shimji's shoulder, rubbed her cheek, and then jumped back to Naruto's shoulder. "Don't worry about Tora, ma'am. I'll make sure she's safe no matter what," Naruto assured the pet owner, who nodded before leaving. "You can all leave as I can see that we've gone through a lot today," said Sarutobi, as Squad 8 bowed before leaving the room with Tora riding in Naruto's hood. As they left, the third Hokage signed heavily before mumbling, "I'm getting too old for this, and Naruto is the main source of it." "You're really something, Naruto, to have Tora as a partner who always gives her pursuers hell. There's never a dull moment with you," Anko said with a grin. "See, can I take Naruto-kun in my arms?" Hinata inquired, but Naruto remained silent as Tora leapt from his hood into her arms and began to cuddle, causing the girls to almost scream, "Kawaii," and glomp her. "Tora can stay with you for a while I go train. I'll make sure to pick her up later," Naruto said before heading off to the training grounds, aware that someone was following him. When Naruto arrived at the grounds, he was debating what he should train on when Shinami spoke up. "I'd suggest you practice wielding Tsukiotoshi. I've noticed you're a little slow at swinging the large blade," the guardian spirit advised. "Thanks for the advice, Shinami-chan. Now I know what to work on today," Naruto said, before summoning 50 clones in front of him and saying, "Okay guys, same rules as always, battle royal." And receiving a "yes boss" from the clones, then drawing Tsukiotoshi while the clones drew either of the blades and both sides dashed at each other. Secret Art. Running /X3. Naruto began slashing at the clones while parrying counter-strikes. He quickly rolled to the left to evade a downward slash from behind and launched an uppercut that sent several clones flying into the air. He blurred through them left and right, sending them higher before finally positioning himself above the clones and stabbing them, bringing both of them to the ground and puffing into smoke. 5 clones jumped into the air to slash at Naruto, but he countered with Secret Arts, Flash. He raised his blade in the air, and an afterimage of himself blurred through them, where they vanished due to the damage inflicted. Another group of clones charged in, hoping to overwhelm him. Naruto turned to meet them, and executed another technique, Secret Arts, Spectre Blow. Several purple wisps shot out of his blade at the clones, some of whom were hit while others jumped to avoid being hit, but the wisps homed in on them and successfully hit the clones. At long last. When Naruto drew the blade from his sheath and called out, "Secret Arts, Moonlit Glint." There was a flash of bright light, and when it faded, all of the clones were cut up and puffing into smoke. Naruto flung his sheath into the air and drew Tsukiotoshi out, where the sheath slid into it before latching onto his back, just like Kazuki does when finishes a battle in Muramasa. "The demon blade. You can come out now. I knew you were watching ever since I came here," he said. He turned to see a girl emerge from behind a tree, dressed in a pink sleeveless kipao-style blouse with red sleeve trimmings and yellow fastening buttons, dark green pants, a ninja pouch strapped to her thigh, standard blue ninja sandals, and her black hair in Chinese-style buns with short fringe bangs falling over her forehead protector. "Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, and I graduated from the academy this year." "My name is Tenten, and I graduated from the academy last year," the girl explained. "It's nice to meet you, but could you explain why you were spying on me while I was training? It might appear that you were attempting to steal my techniques," Naruto said sternly to the kunoichi. "No, I wasn't attempting to steal anything. I was intrigued by the swords you were carrying because I had never seen or recognized them before and was hoping you would tell me about them. But when I saw you train with your clones, I was astounded by your kenjutsu style," Tenten stated. "The kunoichi speaks the truth. I sense no negativity in her," Kurama said. Naruto agreed with a nod. "If that's the case, I can tell you about them. Have you heard of Muramasa?" Tenten raised her eyebrows in surprise when she heard Naruto's name. "I've heard of the name from old history books. They're said to be cursed blades that can cut through anything except the kusanagi, but they're also cursed to never return to their sheath until they draw blood and afflict the wielder with bloodlust. If those are the fabled Muramasa blades, how do you wield them without being cursed?" Tenten stared at the blonde ninja as if he were an enigma. "The reason would be because of the sword style that I am using, which grants the user immunity to the curse and allows them to use the Muramasa as they see fit, and I am currently the 4th user of the style," Naruto explained. "Is there any chance you could teach me?" Tenten asked, his eyes wide. Because of her enthusiasm, Naruto has to take a step back. "I don't know you well enough to trust you with the style, and using any of the secret arts would break the sword unless it was a particularly powerful blade. But that's enough about me. How about you?" Naruto stated. "Well, I have an interest in all kinds of weapons, which has earned me the nickname Weapon Mistress. Although I tend to go overboard when I see a new weapon for the first time, I aspire to be the strongest kunoichi like my idol Tsunade-sama of the Sannin 3, Tenten happily explained. Tsunade, you say? She still has a lot to answer for leaving me behind, but I'll save it for later, Naruto thought before turning to Tenten. Really? I'd be happy to spar with you, but wouldn't using Muramasa be unfair to me? Tenten was wary of the blades. You don't have to worry about the blades because I'll be using another weapon instead, so are you ready? Naruto inquired. Yes, I am. Exclaimed Tenten, eagerly anticipating the blonde ninja's weapon. Because she uses a variety of weapons, I need to match her style for offense and defense, but what can I use? Naruto smiled as the bracelet lit up and he saw a vision of 4 figures, each wielding a different weapon. Then he held out the bracelet and channeled chakra into it, attracting Tenten's attention and calling out, "Turtle power." There was a flash of light that faded to reveal Naruto with nunchucks holstered to both his thighs, a pair of sei at his waist, dual katanas, and a bow staff strapped to his back. Remember that Naruto set the Muramasa blades to seal themselves when he summons weapons from his bracelets. Tenten was stunned when she saw this and decided to say aloud, "Where did those weapons come from?" I'll tell you after the spar, so get ready. Tenten brought out a scroll and unsealed a pair of kamas, mini sickles, and both ninjas charged at each other, said Naruto, drawing out the dual katana and holding them at his sides. Naruto launched a cross slash that was deflected. Tenten used her kamas to grind against the blade and redirected them, throwing him off balance and receiving a kick to the chest. Naruto quickly recovered and charged in again, this time holding his katana in parallel and slashed. Tenten jumped back to avoid because she knew she couldn't block this one, but she wasn't expecting Naruto to follow up with a jumping spin kick that connected with her head, causing her to drop the kamas. Tenten quickly unsealed a kusarigama, chain sickle, and threw the chain at Naruto as he dashed in again. He quickly reverse-gripped the katana and positioned them before him, allowing the chain to wrap around both of them, then stabbed the blades to the ground before Tenten could pull on the chain and close in on her with the sei drawn out for close combat. Tenten unsealed a pair of tonfa as a defense, and both sides clashed repeatedly, attacking and defending, until Naruto went in for a double stab, to which Tenten raised her tonfa to block and made the sei get lodged in the wood, holding him in place, before launching a sidekick with her right leg. Thinking quickly, Naruto raised his left knee to block the kick and spun to deliver a reverse roundhouse kick, but Tenten leaned backwards and backpedaled to create some distance between them before whipping a green scroll, unraveling it and biting her thumb, drawing a line of blood on it and whipping it around herself, releasing a volley of kunai and shuriken at Naruto. Naruto took out the bow staff and dashed at Tenten, who was now wielding a katana. Naruto began to gain an advantage on the kunoichi as he continuously twirled his staff around in a 360 spin to keep her at bay before going for an attack which sometimes bypassed her guard. Tenten went for a downward slash, but Naruto let go of the staff and fell to the ground but raised both of his feet to let the staff land on them. Tenten sidestepped Naruto's front thrust and slashed at his hand, forcing him to let go of it, but he used a palm strike at her wrist to disarm her of the katana. Both sides exchanged smiles after jumping back. "You're pretty good with those weapons, not many people can disarm me that many times in a battle," Tenten said, looking at the blonde. "The same could be said for you, you truly live up to your title as I'm really enjoying our spar," Naruto said, smirking at the kunoichi, before pulling the nunchucks from their holsters and spinning them, while Tenten, much to his surprise, pulled out a staff and stood guard. "Let's finish this," they exclaimed, charging at each other once more. Naruto was hitting hard, and Tenten was as familiar with the staff as he is because she was employing a strategy similar to his own. Tenten swung her staff at his head with her hands gripped at one end. Naruto quickly blocked, but was surprised when the staff opened up into a 3-sectional staff and slammed into his head, forcing him back. Damn. That was completely unexpected. He shook his head to clear it and rolled backwards quickly to avoid another attack. Tenten launched another attack, but he rolled to the ground, exclaiming, "Cowabunga!" and began to breakdance, beginning with a windmill and kicking at her torso. Tenten tried to back away, but he immediately went into flares, knocking away her staff and sending her to the ground. For those interested in these breakdance moves, visit Top 25 Craziest Breakdance Moves. He then stood over Tenten while spinning his nunchucks.
"Looks like I win," he said, smiling as he extended his hand to help her up.
"It appears you did, so could you tell me about the bracelet?" Tenten stood up and looked as the weapons glowed and faded back into the bracelet after taking the outstretched hand. The bracelet is called the Jigen no Tamashi no Rinku, Dimensional Soul Link, and it allows me to summon legendary heroes' weapons and gears to use in battles, but it can only be used by those with a pure heart and a sense of justice, as those with ill intent will have their souls destroyed if they try to wear it, Naruto explained. "That's fantastic. I'm so envious of your ability to wield heroic weapons," Tenten said with stars in her eyes. "She really knows herself when she says she sometimes goes overboard with her love for weapons," Naruto reflected, his tenants nodding in agreement. "Normally it's supposed to be a secret, but I feel like I can trust you to keep this a secret. Of course, I know how valuable this bracelet is, but I hope we can spar now and then if that's okay with you," Tenten said with a hopeful expression. "Of course, I'd be happy to spar with you," Naruto said with a smile, not expecting the kunoichi to hug him, causing him to blush. Shinami noticed Kurama's left eye twitch within the mindscape but chose to remain silent. Tenten let go of the blonde outside the mindscape, blushing with embarrassment. "I'm sorry about that. I hope to see you again." Tenten ran away, and Naruto stood there for a while before walking back to his house to sleep. The next day, Naruto met up with the rest of Team 8 and went to the Hokage's office to get a mission, with Tora riding in his hood as she now stays with him. When they entered the office, they noticed the third Hokage looking intently at a scroll before looking up and speaking. "You've arrived just in time because I need you to go and serve as a backup for Team 7. I've received a message from Kakashi, and it appears that their employee lied to them about the mission because they were attacked by Gozu and Maizu, the demon brothers. They were defeated and interrogated, and it was discovered that Nami no Kuni had been terrorized by a Gado of the Gado Industries, plunging it into poverty. Tizuna was constructing a bridge to promote trade between the lands, but Gado would hire assassins to obstruct it, so he sought our assistance despite the mission's low rank. So I need you to get ready and set out to assist Team 7 in completing the mission," Sarutobi stated. "Understood. Hokage-sama, we'll get up and leave right away," Kurenai said, with Anko nodding in agreement. "Don't worry, Gigi. We'll definitely finish the job." Naruto gave his surrogate grandfather a thumbs up, and the team later met up at the gates. "Is everyone ready?" Kurenai inquired, receiving a positive response. "Then let us go," they said as they took off in the direction of Nami no Kuni. This mission might get a little tricky, Naruto thought, unaware of how correct he was in that thought. It had been several hours since Team 8 had left Konoha and was on their way to meet with Kakashi and his team to assist in the C-rank mission that had been upgraded to a rank. Naruto and his friends were jumping through the trees when he suddenly felt foreboding and began to speed up his movements, drawing the attention of his sensei. "What's the matter, Naruto-kun? Why are you suddenly picking up the pace?" Sakura inquired, perplexed. "I just had this feeling that Kakashi-sensei and his team had gotten themselves into even more trouble," Naruto said to Hinata. "Could you use your Byakugan to scout ahead, Hinata-chan?" As veins appeared around Hinata's eyes, she performed her family's dojutsu. "I detect 3 Genin-level chakra signatures, 1 civilian-level chakra signature, and 2 Junin-level chakra signatures. I'm not familiar with the second one," Kurenai considered her words carefully. "It has to be Kakashi and his team, as well as the client. So the last one has to be a missing ninja, right? Then we should move quickly to provide backup, Anko said. Then I'll go ahead while you girls catch up with me, Naruto said as he took off faster, Sakura calling after him. Naruto, please wait. We have no idea who we're dealing with. Then we'll have to wait and see when we get there. Naruto called back as he walked away from them, Tora clutching his hoodie. I recommend that you approach this opponent with caution, Naruto-sama. This one appears to be more potent than the previous ones, Shinami stated. Don't worry, I'll be careful, Naruto said, but Kurama wasn't convinced. It's when you say things like that that worry us the most, Naruto-kun. Shinami gave the fox a look that said, the fox will soon come out of the bag, and Kurama's eyes widened before turning away. That's the second time you've called me that, but we'll talk after helping the others, Naruto thought as he quickened his pace. Kakashi had not anticipated the situation escalating since his encounter with the demon brothers, Gozu and Maizu. They learned about the poverty in the Land of Waves from a business tyrant named Gato and decided to continue the mission after calling for backup. He was thinking about the blonde genin he had protected when he was in the Anbu as he walked. He knew the boy was his sensei's son and had planned to adopt him if the civilian council hadn't stopped him. If it hadn't been for that damn civilian council, I would have taken care of Naruto exactly as Minato-sensei would have wanted, Kakashi reasoned. Then they ran into Zabuza Momochi, a missing ninja from Kirigakure and one of the Mist swordsmen. He wielded a zanbatsu called Kabikirabocho. Gato hired him to kill Tizuna in order to prevent him from finishing the bridge. Kakashi confronted the rogue ninja but was captured in his water prison jutsu, while Zabuza created a water clone to attack his students. Kakashi tried to persuade them to flee, but Sasuke pointed out that fleeing would make it easier for Zabuza to kill them. Shino stayed behind to defend the bridge builder, but Zabuza's clone proved to be just as powerful as the original, landing a punch on Kiba that sent him slamming into a tree and losing consciousness. To free Kakashi, Sasuke used a grand fireball jutsu, but it was countered by Zabuza's water dragon, canceling each other out. Before Sasuke could react, the clone charged in and punched him in the gut, causing him to vomit blood and collapse to his knees. I'm impressed that a genin like you could use that jutsu at your age, but you're still new to the life of a shinobi, Zabuza said as his clone raised his sword above Sasuke, ready to strike the genin. Shino was about to go help his teammate when he noticed someone blur by him and caught a glimpse of yellow hair. Is this how my life is going to end? I have yet to assassinate my brother in order to avenge my clan. As he brought down the blade, Sasuke closed his eyes, expecting to be struck down by the missing ninja. Instead, he heard footsteps behind him and then a metal clang. Hey, Teme, how are you? Hearing a familiar voice, Sasuke opened his eyes to see a boy with yellow hair wielding a long blade, which is currently being used to block the clone's zanbatsu. Are you going to respond, or has fear taken over your voice? Recognizing the voice, Sasuke awoke from his trance and stared at Naruto. Stop talking, Dobi, and what are you doing here? Well, Gigi dispatched my team and I to serve as your backup, and we arrived just in time. When Anko and the rest of Naruto's team arrived, he was still struggling to hold back the large blade. Naruto pushed the clone's sword away with his chakra before grabbing Sasuke and running back to his team. Sakura-chan, Hinata-chan, please take care of him while I cross swords with the eyebrowless guy holding the big fat sword. Wait, Naruto-kun. This isn't your typical missing ninja. This is Zabuza, the mist demon. You're not going to be able to fight him on your own. Anko attempted to persuade the blonde. I've heard good things about him, so I'm curious how I compare to him. In addition, if I get into trouble, you can help me out. Naruto approached Zabuza, Tsukiyotoshi drawn from its sheath. What can you, a little brat, do that your sensei can't? As his clone charged in, Zabuza taunted, thinking the boy was all talk. "I think you forgot one of the most important battle rules," Naruto said as he raised his blade to avoid the clone's horizontal slash, which sent him skidding back a few meters, then jumped into the air spinning with his blade before diving at the clone. It smirked behind its mask and raised his sword to block the strike, convinced that it would have no effect. That smirk quickly vanished when Naruto's blade cut right through the blade in the clone, forcing it to vanish in a puddle of water, much to the surprise of everyone, especially Zabuza. How is that even possible? Kabikirabocho is not a sword that can be easily broken. The missing ninja was stunned by what he had just witnessed. Where did he get those swords and how did he do it? I'd never seen him with them before the day we were assigned to teams. Sasuke examined his swordsmanship display. You forgot to never underestimate your opponent no matter what, and there is nothing that a Muramasa blade cannot cut. Naruto smirked at Zabuza as he held the blade in the Oboro stance. What? That is impossible. One cannot wield those blades without succumbing to the curse. As much as I want to continue this conversation, I need to focus on releasing my sensei from your water prison. And now, without further ado, Secret Arts, Arc. Naruto swung Tsukiyotoshi at Zabuza, releasing a spinning crescent-shaped wave. Even with the sword, you're still a newbie fresh from the academy, the missing ninja sneered as he leapt above the attack at the last second. I wouldn't say that if I were you, especially if I want to keep any of my body parts attached, Naruto smirked back. Zabuza raised an invisible eyebrow before his keen senses warned him to move his arm just in time to avoid the spinning crescent, whose hand came around like a boomerang, freeing Kakashi. Naruto summoned a shadow clone, who quickly grabbed the Junin and returned him to the group. "Thank you for saving Naruto," exclaimed Kakashi, who knelt beside Kurenai in exhaustion.
Those sword techniques are impressive, but let's see if they can compete with the swordsman of the mist.
Zabuza dashed at Naruto, his Zanbatu at the ready, and both were soon exchanging blade clashes. I can't believe Naruto can go toe-to-toe with Zabuza, Kurenai exclaimed, looking at the battle with Anko, Sakura, and Hinata watching on in concern. Damn. This brat isn't giving me any room to counterattack, I'd better try a different approach, Zabuza thought as he quickly jumped back and went through the hand seals before calling out, Water Style, Water Dragon Jutsu. A stream of water sprung from the lake, forming the shape of a dragon and launching itself at Naruto. Kamataichi, Secret Arts. Naruto jumped into the water dragon, spinning like a buzzsaw and severing it in half. As I previously stated, Muramasa can cut through anything. Naruto replaced Tsukiyotoshi with Mumi no Tamanu and dashed into the water. Try preventing this. Earth Hornet, Secret Arts. He unleashed a barrage of high-speed stabs, which Zabuza blocked with the broadside of his blade, but a few were able to get past his guard and inflict some damage on him. Who was his Kenjutsu instructor? It takes a lot of skill to get a swordsman of his caliber into this state, Kakashi was taken aback. Naruto-kun said that his master wanted him to carry on his legacy because he was the only one who knew the Oboro style, Sakura explained as they stood there watching. After exchanging swords, the two combatants jumped away from each other to rest. Naruto was smirked at by Zabuza. If this is your limit of power, Gaki, you're way out of your league. He may have said that, but Zabuza knew deep down that this blonde ninja is more than meets the eye. Naruto was irritated that the rogue ninja had underestimated him and was about to charge again when the bracelet glowed and he saw a man with spiky blonde hair wearing an all-black outfit. Naruto returned Mumi no Tamanu to its sheath with a sly grin, much to everyone's surprise, including Zabuza. If I'm out of my league, it's time for me to make the big leagues. Naruto exclaimed, the Final Fantasy, while channeling chakra into the bracelet. A flash of light appeared and faded, revealing Naruto wielding a large sword nearly the same size as Zabuza's, but upon closer inspection, it appeared to be several different swords combined into one. "Hello, my big friend," its previous master referred to it as the fusion swords, "and I'm sure it'd like to meet yours." Channeling chakra to fortify his body in order to withstand the weight of the sword thrown at Zabuza. "Well, let's not keep them waiting," the missing added. "Where did the Dobi get that sword?" exclaimed Sasuke, puzzled and a little jealous. "I'm afraid we can't tell you because it's an S-ranked secret. Only the third Hokage or Naruto can," Kurenai explained. "Naruto-kun, please be safe," Hinata worriedly said. Naruto was having difficulty wielding the large blade in his battle against Zabuza, as the latter had more experience and strength to use the Zanbatsu, as well as being inflicted with significant damage. He quickly sidestepped a vertical slash and then connected with an upward slash, but Zabuza turned into a puddle of water. That was a water clone. That implies. Naruto turned to the left and raised his sword to deflect an attack from the missing ninja. "I'm impressed with your Zanbatsu skills, but you're still a green gaki," Zabuza said. "I thought I said don't underestimate me." Now for a surprise. Naruto reached for the blade above the hilt, ejected a side blade, and slashed at his stomach, leaving a gash for blood to flow through, forcing Zabuza to back up. Naruto resumed his attack, only this time with more ferocity and speed while channeling more chakra. "Naruto-kun, you must finish this battle quickly. Your body is already stressed as a result of the chakra you flooded it with." Kurama expressed concern. "Don't worry, Kurama-san, I know what Naruto-sama is after," Shinami said. "At long last, the brat is tiring. Now I can finish him." Zabuza dashed forward and leapt into the air, ready to slash down with a downward slash. "This is my chance." Limit violation. Naruto radiated a yellow aura as he slotted the side blade back into the main sword and twirled it before positioning it behind him. "What are you doing, Naruto? Move out of the way or you'll be sliced in half." Kurenai, who was about to enter but was stopped by Kakashi, yelled. "Why are you impeding me?" "Because I can tell Naruto has a plan from here, if not from the aura I'm seeing, then from the fact that he is quite unpredictable in any situation," said Kakashi, who had known the blonde since his days in Anbu for his pranks and ability to elude experienced ninjas in the village. Naruto raised his sword to meet Zabuza's attack, and for a few seconds it was a stalemate until he continued his swing, which sent Zabuza flying off before crashing into a tree, much to everyone's surprise, including the rogue ninja himself. Where did the brat get such strength? Zabuza wondered as he lay against the tree, watching Naruto approach. "I'm sure you're curious about what happened." He continued after receiving a nod. Limit break, as the name implies, allows one to remove his body's safety restraints in order to gain a burst of power, but only when his body is in critical condition. "Do you have anything else to say before I wrap this up?" Two senbon needles struck Zabuza in the neck before he could say anything. The group then noticed someone jump into the clearing. The ninja was dressed in a red and green battle kimono and a porcelain mask similar to the ones worn by the Anbu. "I'd like to thank you for stopping him. I've been after him for quite some time," the enigmatic ninja said. "Who are you?" Naruto inquired as the fusion swords faded and he was about to draw one of the Muramasa blades if Anko hadn't intervened. "Relax, Naruto-kun. This is one of the Hunter Nin, and based on the markings on the mask, he belongs to the Hidden Mist Village," Anko said. "Well then, I'll be on my way now," the Hunter Nin said as he grabbed Zabuza's body and used a body flicker to vanish before them, with Naruto looking suspicious. When Naruto heard footsteps, he turned to see Sakura and Hinata approaching him and began inspecting his injuries. "Are you okay, Naruto-kun?" Hinata inquired, concerned. "You shouldn't have fought him alone," Sakura chastised. I'm fine, but I'll be passing out due to chakra exhaustion, so see you later, Naruto said before closing his eyes and falling asleep. We'll need to take Naruto and Kakashi somewhere to rest and recover from the battle, Kurenai said, turning to the bridge builder. I'll show you the way, Tazuna said, as Sakura and Hinata assisted in carrying Naruto with Tora on his head, Anko and Kurenai for Kakashi, and Shino for Kiba. Sasuke fixed his gaze on Naruto. Where did he get his immense power? I could use such a power to murder my brother, opined the raven-haired ninja. Tazuna later led the group to his house, where they met his daughter Tsunami. They put Kakashi and Naruto in the same room while the girls looked after Kiba. Naruto was currently within his mindscape, looking at the fox, who was attempting to avoid eye contact with the blonde, while Tsunami stood to the side, watching. It's time for you to start explaining, Kurama. Is there something you're not telling me, and why did you add the kun to my name? That would only be done if they were. Naruto's eyes widened as he reached the conclusion before turning to face Kurama. Are you, by any chance, a girl? Kurama nodded shyly as a flash of red light faded to reveal a girl standing before him, with deep orange hair tied in a ponytail, red eyes with black slits, a crimson-red kimono, fox ears on top of her head, and 9 tails behind her. Yes, Naruto-kun, I'm a girl, Kurama said, looking down at the ground. She looks so beautiful, Naruto thought, blushing, but why didn't you tell me? It's because I developed feelings for you, but I was afraid you'd reject me because I was the one responsible for your parents' death and the village's mistreatment of you, Kurama explained, trying to hold back tears, but was surprised when Naruto pulled her into a hug. You're so stupid, I thought I told you I'd forgiven you, so stop beating yourself up about it. It's all in the past now, and I'm ready to accept your emotions, Naruto stated. The fox's eyes welled up with tears as she hugged him tightly and thanked him repeatedly. Naruto-sama, it appears you're fully healed now, and the others will be checking on you soon, Shinami said. Thank you for informing me, and I'll see you later, Naruto said before fading from the mindscape, leaving Kurama smiling. When Naruto awoke to find Tora sleeping on his stomach and Kakashi sitting up from his futon and reading an orange book, he turned to give the blonde an eye smile. It's good to see you're awake and well, Kakashi said cheerfully. I can say the same for you, Kakashi-sensei, or should I say Inu, Kakashi exclaimed. You knew my code name back then? Kakashi inquired. I'll never forget those who helped me, and I know who my father is, and you are my god brother, Naruto said. I wanted to take care of you like Sensei would have wanted, but those damn civilian counselors stopped me, and I could only protect you while in the Anbu. You'll never have to worry about bigots again. I was found out about some secret dealings between them and Danzo, so you can ask Gigi about it, Kakashi said, perplexed. Soon after, the rest of the team arrived to check on them. Sasuke wanted to ask Naruto about his weapons, but Kurenai had previously informed him that it was an S-class secret, so he had to ask either Naruto or the third Hokage about it. Dobi, what was that weapon you were wielding? Sasuke inquired. That is one of the many weapons that I can wield thanks to the bracelet, and it can only be used by someone with a pure heart, Naruto explained, and Sasuke was disappointed that he wouldn't be able to obtain it. Meanwhile, Kakashi was deep in thought, which drew Shino's attention. Sensei, what's the matter? Shino inquired. I feel like I left something out, and it involves that hunter nin, Kakashi explained. Now that you mention it, I read that hunter nins destroy their targets' bodies and bring the head back to the village for confirmation, Naruto said. Naruto, you are correct. There is also the method by which Zabuza was killed. My experience with Senbon needles taught me that striking Zabuza in this location would result in his death, Anko stated. Which means Zabuza is still alive, Shino explained, much to the surprise of the genin except Naruto, who had figured it out earlier than them. So, Sensei, what do we do? Sakura inquired. We'll be preparing for the next time Zabuza appears, Kurenai said. Based on the damage done by Naruto, Zabuza would need at least a week to recover. Then we'll rest for today and start training tomorrow, Naruto explained. Meanwhile, a young boy listened in from behind the closed door before leaving. Why should they bother? They'll just get killed by Gato like Dad did. He had no idea that a certain blonde would restore hope to the people of the village. That night, while Naruto was sleeping, Shinami noticed the bracelet began to pulse with white light before fading away and thought, it appears that the bracelet is awakening a new power. I wonder what it is. The next day, Naruto awoke from his sleep and rubbed his eyes to wake up, greeting Kurama and Shinami in his mindscape. Good morning, Kura-chan and Shinami-san, Naruto thought. Good morning, Naruto-kun, Kurama said. Good morning, Naruto-sama. I believe your team members are downstairs with your sensei, Shinami said. Thank you for informing me, Naruto said. Then he went downstairs to meet the others because Kakashi was still suffering from chakra exhaustion and needed to rest in bed. When Naruto arrived downstairs, he noticed Hinata and Sakura assisting Tsunami in the kitchen, Anko and Kurenai discussing plans at the table, Tizuna secretly drinking sake while making sure Tsunami was not looking his way, Shino sitting silently but with a slight buzzing, Sasuke sitting quietly alone, and Kiba with his partner Akamaru looking around the house. Naruto also noticed a boy looking at them with anger and a hint of hopelessness. Kiba smirked at Naruto when he saw him. Look who has finally decided to wake up. Did you faint when you fought Zabuza? I expect nothing less from the class clown. In fact, Kiba, Naruto was the one who defeated Zabuza and saved Kakashi-sensei, Shino explained. What? He'd never be able to stand up to one of the Mist's 7 swordsmen.
I don't expect you to believe it because you were knocked out at the time, Naruto smirked, and Kiba was about to respond when he was cut off by Kurenai.
Whether you believe it or not, that's what happened, he says. We'll train you because Kakashi is currently recovering from chakra exhaustion. So we'll meet in the clearing after breakfast. What is the purpose of training? Gato will simply kill you all. Everyone turned to look at the boy who was staring at them. And who could you be? Kiba wondered. This is my dear grandson Inari, Tizuna said. Inari simply ignored them and went upstairs, passing by Naruto on his way. I sense sorrow from Naruto-kun, Kurama said. I know Kura-chan. I'll talk to him later, Naruto reasoned. Naruto and the others met in a clearing in the middle of a forest after eating breakfast. Naruto, Sakura, and Hinata appeared to be at ease. Kiba was animated, Shino was quiet, and Sasuke was brooding. Before we begin, could you tell us what Kakashi taught you so we know what to do? Kurenai inquired. So far, Kakashi-sensei has taught us teamwork exercises and chakra control at our clan homes, Shino explained, with Kiba nodding in agreement. I learned it from my clan's scrolls, Sasuke explained. In that case, you three will continue to practice chakra control, and I will keep an eye on you, Kurenai, and our team will guard Tizuna, Anko said. Later, Naruto and the others were at the unfinished bridge, watching Tizuna supervise the construction workers. I gotta hand it to you, old man. This is a pretty impressive bridge, Naruto said. Thanks kid. Once this bridge is finished, life will return to Wave and we'll be free of Gato's tyranny, Tizuna said. Is it really that bad here in Wave? Hinata inquired. Tizuna sighed and shook his head. There are no words to describe it. You must see it for yourself. I think we'll do that after we finish here, Sakura said. Tizuna was approached by one of the workers. Tizuna, I need to talk to you, the man said. Ginjo, what do you want to talk about? Tizuna inquired. What I want to say is that I want to back out of this project, Ginjo said, as Naruto and the others were taken aback by the man's decision. What? But why are you giving up when we're so close to completing the bridge? Tazuna exclaimed, as they had been childhood friends. Well, I was all for your idea of building for the sake of the island, but I'm concerned about the safety of my family when I'm not around to protect them, Ginjo said, Tazuna looking at him for a moment before signing in disappointment. Well, we were going to break for lunch anyway, so you can just pack up and leave. As Ginjo turned to leave, he noticed the ninja Tazuna had hired for protection give him angry and disappointed looks, as if they knew why the project had been abandoned. He overheard Naruto muttering out loud for him to hear as he walked by. Hearing the words, "You coward," his heart clenched with guilt. Naruto left Tora with Hinata and approached Tazuna, who appeared depressed. How many builders like him had abandoned the project, old man? It seems like 6 people quit while I was away from the island, and now we're seriously understaffed. At this rate, we'll never finish the bridge, Tazuna said. Then all we need to do is get more hands on the work. I can help you with that. Tazuna looked perplexed, while Kurenai, Sakura, and Hinata knew exactly what he meant. And where can you get that kind of assistance? Naruto simply smirked and made the cross sign. Then dozens of clones appeared in a puff of white smoke, much to the man's surprise. These are my shadow clones. They are solid so they can interact with anything and tell you what to do. Thank you for your help, kid. I really appreciate it. We can finally get some work done now. Tazuna then began issuing orders to the clones, who responded enthusiastically. Later that day, after offering to do so for Tsunami, Naruto escorted Sakura and Hinata to the market to buy food for dinner. They were astounded to discover that there was almost nothing worth purchasing from the stalls. On their way back, a man tried to pickpocket them, but Sakura stopped him by kicking him in the gut, causing him to fall to the floor in pain. I can't believe how bad things are around here, Sakura exclaimed. If the bridge isn't finished, poverty will destroy this island. We have to make sure Gado doesn't succeed. Naruto gritted his teeth. Tora popped out of his hood and meowed in agreement. Naruto felt a hand grab his jacket and turned to attack, only to be stopped by a girl dressed in rags standing before him. Could you spare me some food for me and my friends at the orphanage? Asked the girl, and Naruto felt sad looking at her before rubbing her head and smiling, as did Hinata and Sakura. Of course, could you show your friends the way? The girl happily nodded and walked away. Naruto and the others closed behind. Soon after they arrived, Naruto noticed how dilapidated the building was. They could tell that some of the kids hadn't eaten in a while, and others appeared to be sick. We have to help them in some way, even if it's just for a little while, Sakura said, and Naruto and Hinata agreed. I have some medicine in my pouch. It might help with some of their illness, Hinata said, pulling a packet from her pouch. I've got some food rations and a medkit here in my storage scroll, Naruto said, holding out a scroll. Great, I'll use the medkit to tend to them, the group said, and the children were cared for until they felt better in the meantime. Naruto noticed that some of the children were still depressed and tried to come up with a way to cheer them up. After a moment of deep thought, his eyes widened and he smiled mischievously. Hey girls, give me a moment, I know a way to make these kids smile, Naruto said as he walked to another room. What are you up to, Naruto? Sakura inquired, but Naruto did not respond and entered the room. After a while, he emerged, surprising everyone by wearing a yellow banana suit and holding a pair of maracas, and he began to sing. Many of the kids, including Sakura and Hinata, began to laugh as he sang, and some even joined in on the silly dance. It was time for them to leave after a while of singing and dancing, which saddened many of the children. Will we see you again? The little girl asked sadly. "We'll be here for a while because we're the ones protecting Tizuna while he's building the bridge," Naruto said as the ninjas left for Tizuna's house. Sakura noticed a piece of the family picture had been torn while they were eating at the dinner table. "Tizuna-san, whose picture has been ripped?" Tizuna appeared depressed, while Tsunami appeared to be in tears. That was Tsunami's husband and Inari's father, Kaiza. Then Tizuna told them how he was regarded as an island hero by all, but when he tried to challenge Gato, he was killed in front of the crowd to serve as an example. Everyone was silent until Naruto stood up, jumped into his hood, and walked towards the door, all eyes on him. "Where are you going, Naruto?" Kurenai inquired. Naruto did not turn but replied, "I'm going to get some fresh air." The girls stood up to follow him, but Kakashi stopped them. "Why did you stop us, Kakashi-sensei?" Hinata asked, not stuttering for the first time. "It's because I can tell he wants to be alone." The girls sat back down at the table as Kakashi returned to reading his book, much to the chagrin of the females in the kitchen. That Gato is going to pay for all of this, for what he did to Inari and his family, Naruto thought, as his tenants agreed. Indeed, he is the source of Inari's bitterness. The trauma of witnessing his father's death in front of him destroyed his faith in humanity, Kurama stated. "I know Kura-chan, but so far all we know is Gato is a business tycoon and the cause of the island's poverty," Naruto reflected. "May I suggest we gather information about him, Naruto-sama?"
Shinami suggested.
"That's a good idea, and I know exactly how to execute it," Naruto exclaimed from the rooftops. After jumping from roof to roof, Naruto noticed a man dressed roguishly and carrying a sword walking down the street. Based on his attire and body language, he must be one of Gato's underlings. Following him might lead us to where Gato is, Kurama speculated. "My exact thoughts. Let's see where he leads us," Naruto murmured, Tora poking out of his hood and nodding. Naruto sat Tora on his shoulder while pulling the hood over his head, then focused on the bracelet and exclaimed, "Honor among thieves." In a flash of light, he was holding the Cooper cane. Naruto took to the treetops after completing his preparations, keeping a close eye on his target. Wow, that little rat sure knows how to party. Naruto had been following the bandit for some time until he arrived at his destination, only to be surprised by the structure. He could see several bandits acting as sentries in the courtyard and two more at the entrance where a torch was lit. "I need to find a way around the guards. They'll be able to spot me when I'm near the torch, so I'll need to draw them away from it," Naruto thought deeply before snapping his fingers and grinning, Tora tilting her head in confusion. The guards were scanning the area for anything unusual when they heard a croak and turned to see a small frog sitting in front of them. Before they could say anything, the frog pulled out a top hat and a cane and began singing and dancing. Any of you who watched Looney Tunes will get the idea. The guards moved closer to the dancing frog to get a better view, unaware that someone was sneaking past them with a foxy grin. Shadow clone plus transformation plus cartoons equals great distraction. I owe it to Deadpool Sensei for introducing me to them. They really crack me up as well as give me ideas, Naruto reasoned. That's true, but I sometimes doubt that guy's sanity, Kurama said. Naruto used the bushes to avoid detection by the guards patrolling until he finally arrived at the manor. Naruto looked around for an entrance until he noticed a small open window. He was about to move when a guard appeared around a corner, forcing him back into the bushes. Naruto took a pebble and threw it in the opposite direction, causing the guard to move towards the sound, after which he climbed through the window and ended up in a storeroom. With Tora walking beside him, Naruto snuck through the hallways and silently climbed into the air vents, making it easier for him to get around. Naruto soon heard voices and crawled towards them until he came to an opening where he saw a man talking to a much shorter man sitting behind an office table. That must be Gato. I wonder which branch of the family he inherited his ugliness from. I'm sure even his mother didn't like that expression. Before listening in on their conversation, Naruto smirked when he heard Kurama and Shinami laugh at his joke. "Boss, are you really going to pay Zabuza for the job?" the man inquired. "Of course not. When Zabuza kills the bridge builder and those ninjas, he'll be worn out, and we can use that opportunity to kill him with no trouble. Besides, ninjas like him are too expensive anyway." Naruto gritted his teeth in rage, Kurama growled, and Shinami simply scowled. "By the way, what about the girl we kidnapped?" "So far, she's stubbornly resisting, but no one can reach her because I have the keys," the man explained. "We'll just have to deal with her after killing Zabuza. I'm going to my room to rest for the night," Gato said as he walked away from the man who was following him. Naruto stepped out of the vent and approached Tora. "Tora, I need you to keep an eye out for anything important while I follow that guy to where the girl is being held captive." As Naruto snuck after the man, Tora meowed in agreement. As Naruto followed the man, he noticed the keys protruding from his pocket. "I should take a key just in case." Naruto expertly used his cane to pickpocket the keys before silently returning it after taking one, then jumped to the ceiling and used his chakra to stick there just as the man turned to look around before walking away. Naruto followed the man until he reached the basement and stood in front of a cell. "I'm not sure why we should wait when I could tame you right now." The man grinned lustfully as he reached for the keys to open the cell when he felt a hand clamp his mouth and two fingers pinch a certain point on his neck, lulling him to sleep. "SSSSSHHHH, be very very quiet. I'm sneaking around." Elmer Fudd laughter, smirked Naruto, as his tenant's sweat dropped at his antics. Naruto entered the cell and saw a girl sitting in the corner of the prison after placing the man on a stool and placing an empty sake bottle to make it appear as if he had a hangover. Naruto admired her beautiful caramel-colored skin and lime-green hair. "What is your name? Is he one of Gato's men?" inquired the young lady. "No, it's just one of your friendly neighborhood Konoha ninja, Naruto Uzumaki, at your disposal. What's your name?" Naruto stated. "My name is Fu. I used to be a ninja of the hidden waterfall village until they banished me and then I got captured by Gato," she said, looking at his eyes for signs of deception. Naruto was about to ask why he was banished when he heard Kurama speak to him. "Naruto-kun, I can sense Chome the seven-tailed beetle in her. She must be a Jinkoriki," Kurama said. Fu heard a feminine voice within her say, "Fu-chan, I can sense Kurama Ni-chan inside the boy. He's also a Jinkoriki like you. I guess by the look on your face, you must know who I contain and I know who you contain," he continued, seeing Fu nod, "but it will be after I deal with Gato, so can you wait a little longer?" "Alright, but please come back soon," Fu pleaded to the blonde ninja. "Of course I will, and I promise." Before leaving, Naruto gave Fu a sly grin that made her blush. Naruto ran into Tora, who was holding a small brown envelope in her mouth. He quickly sealed it in a scroll and proceeded on his way out. When he arrived at the entrance, he saw the guards still watching the frog dance and shook his head at their awe. "Those guys have to be the dumbest ever. I guess Gato is more for quantity than quality," Naruto thought as he moved on. When he arrived at Tazuna's house the next day, he called his sensei and told him what had happened the day before. To say they were surprised was an understatement. "Wait, you mean to tell me you snuck into Gato's mansion to gather information and then returned without being seen?" Kurenai found it difficult to believe, but Kakashi and Anko simply smiled. "I wouldn't be surprised if Naruto was able to sneak into Anbu headquarters and swap out the Anbu masks for clown masks," Kakashi speculated. "And they couldn't figure out how he sneaked in and out without being detected," Anko chuckled as Naruto rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. "But now we have to plan for when Gato and his goons appear on the bridge and save Fu-chan," Naruto explained. "That's correct. We'll inform the others after dinner tonight," Kakashi said. Later that night, everyone was eating quietly, except Inari, who was staring at Naruto, who was eating quietly before finally bursting out. "Why are you acting so composed? Don't you realize that if you stay here any longer, Gato will simply kill you?" yelled Inari. "Kid, calm down, there's no need for you to act that way. I've trained for situations like this," Naruto said. "Stop talking. I'm sickened by your expression. I'm sure you've never had to suffer in your life." Then there was a snap, and everyone turned to see Naruto's hair covering his eyes and the chopsticks in his hand broken. Kakashi, Anko, Kurenai, Sakura, and Hinata all looked at Inari, who appeared perplexed, and Tora hissed at him before they heard Naruto speak. "I'm not sure about suffering. Please don't make me laugh. At least you have a family and have known your father for a while, whereas I had no idea who my parents were or if they even loved me until recently, when I discovered they were dead. I had to constantly check behind me to ensure that no one was attempting to take my life. People look at me as if they are wondering why I exist, and they try to erase my existence. So, until you've gone through what I've gone through, don't stand in front of me and claim you've suffered more than anyone else." "What do you mean? I'm leaving before I do anything I'll be sorry for." Tsunami broke the silence by speaking up. Was he serious about what he said? What Naruto said was the sugar-coated version of his story, Kakashi said. Everyone was taken aback by what they had seen, as they had seen Naruto act as if nothing could ever faze him. Inari ran out of the house in tears, going to sit on the pier and watch the moon. Hearing footsteps, he turned to see Naruto approaching him. "What do you desire? Are you here to yell at me once more?" Inari inquired. "In fact, I'm here to apologize." Inari was surprised but remained silent while Naruto continued, "When you said those things, it reminded me of what happened in the past, which caused me to blow up on you." "But how exactly? How did you become who you are today?" Inari inquired. "The thing is, I got tired of crying and sulking because I felt it was a waste of time, so I decided to do something more with my life, and I also had people around to support me," Inari pondered as he gazed at Naruto. "I'm sorry for what I said before, I shouldn't have said those things," Naruto smiled as he patted Inari on the head. Kurama and Tsunami also smiled at the scene. "I had already forgiven for you, I'm not one to hold grudges, and I promise to you that Gato will pay for what he did," Naruto said, hugging the blonde ninja as he felt he could keep that promise. "Now go back to bed. I'll stay outside for a while longer," Inari said as Naruto walked into the forest. When Naruto felt someone approaching him the next morning, he quickly stood up and assumed a fighting stance. He noticed a girl wearing a pink kimono with flower designs and holding a herb basket. "I'm sorry, I thought you were an enemy," Naruto apologized, rubbing the back of his neck. "It's all right, I was about to wake you up because you might have caught a cold. I came here to collect herbs," the girl explained. "He looks quite cute, especially with those whisker marks. It makes me want to rub it. Then allow me to assist you. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. My name is Haku, and I appreciate your assistance." Naruto was assisting her in picking the herbs when he noticed something odd about them. "These are herbs used for healing injuries. Could she be the imposter hunter Nin?" pondered Naruto. "You are correct. Naruto-sama, her aura is identical to the day you fought Zabuza," Tsunami stated. When Naruto heard Haku speak to him, his thoughts were interrupted. "Do you have someone special to you?" Haku inquired. "Yes, they gave me a reason to keep going," Naruto said happily, remembering everyone who loved and cared for him. "That's good, I believe you truly become strong when you have something to protect," Haku said, and Naruto looked at her for a moment before smiling and nodding in agreement. When Naruto called out, Haku stood up to leave. "I hope to see you again," Naruto said. I hope so, too, Haku said, trying to hide her sadness at the prospect of having to fight him in the near future. Oh, and by the way, I'm a boy, Naruto said, unfazed. Please, I know you're a girl, Naruto thought as he watched Haku walk away. I really don't want to fight you, Naruto-kun. Wait, when did I like him like that? I'm nothing more than a tool for Zabuza, although her heart was protesting, Haku thought.
So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more awesome stories like this. Thank you. See you all in my next video.